What is up, everyone? Back again with another video. So last time we did the top 50 songs of 2020, and this video is the top 40 albums of the year. If you want to see all of the content and more, go to collegesetlist.com. Link is in description as well. And you can see the same list as well as the top 30 features of the year, top 20 music videos, and then top 10 biggest artists, as well as the list from past years and our decades list as well. So go ahead and check those out. But like I said, today is the top 40 albums, and going to jump straight into this list. I'm going to highlight some honorable mentions. I do want to give a shout out to Draco the Ruler and Jug Season. Thank you for using GTL, Saw Baby with Barnacles, Chloe and Hal's Ungodly Hour, and Tame Impala's The Slow Rush. Those are the main honorable mentions. And I usually only do 4 honorable mentions, but I'm feeling a little generous. I do want to give a shout out to As God Intended by Che Noir and Apollo Brown. And finally, From King to a God by Conway the Machine. So those are the honorable mentions. Didn't quite make the cut, but I still think that you should check them out. Now going to move into the top 40. Number 40 is Mama's Boy by LANY. This is an album that isn't something new from LANY. It kind of feels like more of the same, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The album is very cohesive. It flows together nicely, and I think it's just a good soundtrack to put on to something that is just low-key and chill. And so some tracks I think you should check out would be Paper, Anything for You, and You. Number 39 is Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. This is an indie alternative artist that I got put onto this year, and I think she really showcases her unique identity on this project. I still need to go back and listen to some of her older stuff, but I really enjoyed this one. Check out ICU, Chinese Satellite, and Kyoto. Number 38 is BTS with Map of the Soul 7, a little bit of the K-pop in me. But yeah, I mean, they're the biggest group in the world right now, and they came through with an array of songs that showcases their full talent, from rap to pop, all that type of crossover stuff. And so I think for me, the top tracks would be Life Goes On, Boy With Love, and Dynamite. Number 37 is Brent Faiyaz with Fuck the World. And to me, what I really appreciate about Faiyaz in this project is just the fresh energy that I feel like he brings to R&B. He kind of has that swag that a rap artist typically has, and a little bit like The Weeknd too, but he makes it into his own, and so I think he really shines on this one. Check out Fuck the World, Clouded, and Make It Out. Number 36 is Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats Unlocked. This is a short album that has like a comic book theme, and I really enjoy the narrative that they follow, as well as the music video. So check out the music video for the whole project. But the favorite tracks on this one was Cosmic, Pyro, and Take It Back. Number 35 is Knowledge 1988. This is a beat tape, so there's one track that has Anderson .Paak on it, Coming Together with No Worries, but aside from that, it's just a bunch of beats, but it sounds amazing. I love the samples that are used, and I think people need to listen to this one more. And my top 3 tracks would be It Can Be So Nice, Minding My Business, and Don't Be Afraid. Number 34 is Ariana Grande's Positions. I didn't know that she was going to drop an album this year, but was pleasantly surprised when she did drop, and turned out to be really good. I think that she doesn't have as much to prove on this record as maybe some for others, but that's because the other ones have been really great as well. This one just adds to her strong discography. Top 3 tracks would be Positions, 630, and POV. Number 33 is Chris Brown and Young Thug, Slime and B. This was a collaborative mixtape that kind of came out under the radar, but I think is a great group of songs. And I think the top 3 would be Go Crazy, Help Me Breathe, and Animal. Number 32 is Haim with Women in Music Part 3. This is an album that sounds like it has almost a rustic, nostalgic feel to it. And it finds the singers, they have this type of hope and angst, and as well as a bit of frustration. It all comes together very nicely. It sums up a lot of what this year felt like. So I'd say the top 3 tracks were Gasoline, FUBT, and Los Angeles. Number 31 is Currency and Harry Fraud, The Outrunners. This is a tape that is just dripped in confidence. Currency comes off. His voice just sounds so great against the Harry Fraud production, and it's almost like a victory lap. Both of these guys are legends, continuing to show why they are legends, and yeah, the fans just got blessed with this one. Top 3 tracks would be 90, IROCZ, Offloading, and Riviera Beach. Number 30 is Polo G's The GOAT. From the Chicago rapper himself, this is one of the realest albums to come out, and he continues to show why he's one of the most mature rappers in the game right now. Being able to blend the melodic flow with the street raps together comes together nicely. Top 3 tracks would be Martin and Gina, Trials and Tribulations, and Wishing for a Hero. Number 29 is Pray for Love by Rod Wave, who also kind of sounds to me like the Drake version of NBA Youngboy. But nah, the Florida artist continues to showcase his success here. Dropped a standard album as well as a deluxe. So a plethora of tracks for the fans to enjoy. A lot of them sound very similar, so the ones that you should check out would be Girl of My Dreams, Rag to Riches, and 5% Tints. Number 28 is Future and Lil Uzi Vert with Pluto and Baby Pluto. This is another collaborative tape with Future, and I love all of them. And I think that this one is going to be underappreciated for a little while, but give it a few years, people will come around and realize that Uzi and Future do have that chemistry. Check out Drinking and Smoking, I Don't Want to Break Up, and Because of. Number 27 is Ka, Descendants of Cain. This is an incredible album. I'll spend a little bit more time talking about this one because he just comes off as a poet more than a rapper on this one. I heard someone say that, and I completely agree. He's definitely more of a poet. The one you got to pull up Genius to follow the lyrics and see what he's saying. He uses a metaphor of Cain and Abel, comparing the biblical story to growing up in the streets with cocaine. And the parallels that he makes are just incredible, and this is just an album that I feel like the real hip-hop heads need to sit down and listen with. I really love it. Check out My Brother's Keeper, I Love, and Solitude of Enoch, but listen to it in full to really get the experience. Number 26 is Jay Electronica, A Written Testimony. 2020 was the year we finally got the long-awaited Jay Electronica album drop, and he did receive the Jay-Z stimulus package on this one, but personally I'm not complaining. I think Jay-Z added a lot to the record, but Electronica held his own as well. My favorite tracks on this are Universal Soldier, API-DTA, and Ezekiel's Wheel. Number 25 is Juice WRLD with Legends Never Die. This is the posthumous album from the rapper who passed away last year. Rest in peace. And this album just shows why everyone loved Juice WRLD in the first place. And they were able to create a group of songs that, really reflect well on the impact that he left as an artist. You can already hear it in some of the newer rappers that are coming out. And so this will be one that will last on for a long time. So rest in peace, Juice. Check out Wishing Well, Man of the Year, and Hate the Other Side. Number 24, we got another project from a rapper who unfortunately passed away, and it's Pop Smoke with Meet the Woo 2. This is a breath of fresh air to trap music, drill as well. Pop Smoke was just one of those innovative artists that was yet to reach his peak, and Meet the Woo 2 is just a banger of a project. And my favorite tracks on it are Invincible, Element, and Dior. Also check out the posthumous album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. That one was good. To me, I like Meet the Woo 2 a little bit more. It's a bit more concise, and I think some of the tracks hit a bit different, but check all of them out. Number 23 is Blue in Exile with Miles. This is long awaited. It's been over 8 years since their last collaborative album, and to me, this project is just like a breath of fresh air. A lot of the raps and the styles and the flows are ones that you're very hard pressed to find in 2020, and so it just sounds refreshing to hear. I personally love The Feeling, The American Dream, and True and Livin'. Check out this project for sure. Number 22 is Bryson Tiller, Anniversary. I know this album didn't receive a ton of praise, but I think this is a great continuation of the type of vibes that he was giving off on Trap Soul. Obviously, Trap Soul is a classic, and Anniversary doesn't really come close to reaching that level, but in connecting it to the 5-year anniversary of Trap Soul, it makes sense for it to have the similar vibes to it. And so I appreciate it for what it is, and I ended up listening to this one a lot in full. There's only 10 tracks, so it was concise, and I thought it was really good. For this one, check out Next to You, Out of Time, and Sorrows. At number 21, we have Taylor Swift with Evermore. This was the second release of the year for her after Folklore. She just surprise dropped it, and it's a continuation of the vibes that are left on Folklore. A lot of eloquent stories of self-discovery, reflection, and some fictional tales as well. Check out Evermore, Ivy, and Gold Rush. Moving into the top 20, at number 20, we have Future with High Off Life. And this is a project that is just solid from Future. He's not doing anything new that he didn't do last year. Some people might like this one more than The Wizard. It kind of flips around. I think that you could go with either, to be honest. I'm still waiting for the Hendrix 2 type of vibes, but this one is just another album from Future that you can't hate. And top 3, Life is Good, All Bad, and Accepting My Flaws. At number 19 is Boldy James and Sterling Toll's Manger on McNichols. And One of the heaviest albums of the year for sure. Boldy James details his rough upbringing in Detroit. The raps are extremely precise. He had these verses for I think over 8 years or something like that, and some of the production was just tweaked this year and then released. But the production sounds amazing. The jazz overlays on some of the later tracks remind me of stuff from To Pimp a Butterfly, and it's just a very unique project that details more about Boldy James and his life. My top 3 tracks are Mommy Dearest, Welcome to 76, and Get Flicked. At number 18 is Westside Gunn, Pray for Paris. This whole album just sounds like it belongs in the Louvre. The raps just sound exquisite and comes off with a richer, better than you vibe, and I'm here for it. I think it's amazing. My top 3 tracks are 327, George Bondo, and $500 Ounces. At number 17 is Justin Bieber with Changes. This is an album that not a lot of people enjoyed, and so I feel like I have to defend it a little bit. But for me, yeah, I didn't really like it at first. I thought it was a bit bland. But I kept going back to it and listening to it. And I think for what it is, which is a collection of love songs, I think that the vibe front to back is actually pretty good. Obviously, there are some weaker points on it, like the Lil Dicky verse. The Travis feature was just okay. Like, I think you could look at it like subjectively and see it as like just okay. But I think after giving it a decent amount of listens, it continued to just grow on me. And so strictly based on replay value, I felt like I had to add it in here. My top 3 tracks are, at least for now, Come Around Me and Around Me. At number 16 is Run the Jewels with RTJ4. This album was dropped at the perfect time. It was during the height of the Black Lives Matter protests, and it was even released early to serve as almost like a soundtrack for everything that was going on. And so this is an album that I think people should listen to. It's abrasive, it's honest, unforgiving, and that's exactly who Run the Jewels, what they represent anyways. And so I think that Killer Mike and LP continue to showcase why they're one of the strongest duos of all time. The 3 tracks you should listen to are A Few Words from the Firing Squad, Ooh La La, and Walking in the Snow. At number 15, Taylor Swift, another entry with Folklore. This was the first album that she released this year, and I think it just showcases the variety of music that she's able to create here. A strong switch in her discography compared to what she's previously released, and it's a more softer, almost indie type of sound that finds herself, I feel like, at her most mature. Personally, my top 3 tracks are Peace, The One, and Exile. Number 14 is another album that I feel like I need to defend, which is Machine Gun Kelly, Tickets to My Downfall. Originally, didn't really love this album either, but again, I kept going back to it. I love the alternative rock, old school, like Linkin Park type sound that I didn't know that I'd want to hear more of, but I think, you know, there's a reason why there's not too many records like this out anymore, but Machine Gun Kelly choosing to bring that style back for a little flair, I think paid off, and I really do appreciate it for what it is. My top 3 tracks are Lonely, My Ex's Best Friend, and Forget Me Too. Number 13 is Jhené Aiko with Chilombo, and this album is one that is a breath of fresh air to 2020. You know, you have some projects that strictly detail everything going on. You have some that take you to a different atmosphere. Yeah, I think that Chilombo is just one that you can just put on and zone out to and really just take a break and reflect on. And so I appreciate her for creating that. And my top 3 tracks are Born Tired, Above and Beyond, and Speak. At number 12 is Dinner Party with Dinner Party Dessert. And this, the Dinner Party group, it consists of musicians Terrace Martin, Robert Glasper, Ninth Wonder, and Kamasi Washington. And this is just an underrated masterpiece. It fuses soul, jazz, R&B, and rap, and it just sounds like that perfect cookout music. And I love it. I think you should definitely listen to it. It's probably a project that not too many people have heard. So if I can put anyone on to some new stuff, please check this one out. My favorite tracks are Love You, Freeze Tag, and Sleepless Nights. At number 11 is Gunna with Wunna. This is his sophomore album. And I know that him and his team, his producers, they went and traveled across the world before COVID, working to create this album and finding inspiration. And to me, it definitely sounds like they did some traveling and exploring. It's different than his other stuff while also sticking to what he does best. And so this is just one of those great trap albums for me. Top 3 tracks are Sun Came Out, Dollars on My Head, and Skybox. Now we are at the top 10 albums of the year. At number 10 is Benny the Butcher with Burden of Proof. Griselda dominated the 2020. This was my favorite release from them. And to me, the Hit Boy production is really what sets this over the top. Benny also shows up as well, giving us a different side that he doesn't necessarily shown on previous albums. So he showcases his versatility, but still sticks to his strengths that Hit Boy just brings the best out of. And so I think this album will continue to show why Griselda is one of the most dominant groups out. Top 3 tracks are One Way Flight, Burden of Proof, and Legend. Number 9 is Drake with Dark Lane demo tapes. And a solid release from Drake. It's a collection of loose songs. Some of them were leaks, some of them were new, and some of them were snippets that people wanted to, hear, like the Pain 1993 one. And so I don't think it's his best material to date by far, but it is a collection of songs that I just found myself playing at any occasion, whether it was in the car, with friends. It's Drake, so you can put it on at any time, and so I love it. My top 3 would be Chicago Freestyle, Not You 2, and Pain 1993. Number 8 is Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist with Alfredo. This album sounds like a victory lap to me for Freddie after a slew of releases that gained critical acclaim with producer Madlib, Pinata, and Bandana. Alfredo just comes and shows why he's one of the best rappers out right now. He's got that comical side to him, but also very serious, like I'm not afraid to kill you. Braggadocious vibe to him, and so I think that's very unique in the game right now. And to me, the production behind this gives it that elegant, exquisite character to it. And so I hope this one wins album of the year or best rap album at the Grammys. My personal favorite tracks are Babies and Fools, Something to Rap About, and 1985. Number 7 is Lil Baby with My Turn. This album was really big for Lil Baby. It helped bring him to that next level of stardom compared to where he was previously at, which was still pretty big, but this album just showcases his talent, that he can really just rap, and he's very relatable. He doesn't try and sugarcoat anything or, go too hard in terms of say how he's better than everyone else. But he backs everything up that he says. His voice is intoxicating. He's got that hunger. He's got the confidence. So I think this one just showcases his hunger, and he's not done. So top 3 would be Emotionally Scarred, Catch the Sun, and We Paid. Number 6 is 21 Savage and Metro Boomin with Savage Mode 2. This album was well worth the wait and the perfect sequel to the first Savage Mode. I like to say that 21 and Metro are like the LeBron and Dwayne of the rap game, and the chemistry is on full display here. It's a great listen from front to back, and I think they are able to step out of their comfort zone a little bit while also not straying too far from what they found success in. And Metro just shows that he's still one of the best producers of the game. There's no denying that. My favorite tracks are Brand New Draco, Many Men, and Rich and Shit. Number 5 is The Kid Laroi with Fuck Love, and this was an album that I didn't know was going to end up on a top list by any means. A lot of the albums that are in the top 10, you see the artists that they're about to drop, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm expecting this to be good. But with Kid Laroi, I didn't know that I would gravitate to him so much. This is an album full of emotional pop rap hits. He's only 17 years old. Dude has a lot of talent. He sounds a lot like Post Malone, a little bit of Justin Bieber, a little bit of Juice WRLD as well. Shout out to Juice WRLD for putting him on as well. And so I think that this album showcases his potential, and he's going to continue to grow in the future. So definitely listen to Juice WRLD definitely listen to Kid Laroi if you haven't. Top 3 tracks are Wrong, Always Do, and Without You. At number 4 is Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon 3, and this one might have been a little bit higher or lower if I was able to sit with it a bit longer, but just because it recently came out, this is where I'm going to put it. It's the final installment to the Man on the Moon trilogy. The first one came out in 2009, and the second one came out in 2010. So it's been over 10 years, and he finally caps off the trilogy, and I love it. I'm just happy to see his growth mentally and musically. He's definitely came a long way, and on this album he tries a bunch of new things, raps a lot more, but also just still gives fans what they came to love originally from the Man on the Moon series. So I think he does a good job of pushing forward while also looking back, and it's hard to reach expectations with a title like Man on the Moon 3, but I think Cudi really killed it. Top 3 tracks are September 16th, Mr. Solo Dolo 3, and Tequila Shots. At number 3 is Mac Miller with Circles. This was his posthumous release, rest in peace to Mac, and it's arguably his best album to date, if not one of his better ones. It's the sequel to Swimming, finishing the concept of swimming in circles, and it finds him delving even more into a more R&B lane and less of a rap lane, and a lot of it is finding solace with some of the battles that he's mentally faced, and I think it's really beautiful the way he expresses things, the soft tone to the project as well. It's a very excellent but also sad final project to his career, but one that is a must listen. Top 3 are Hand Me Downs, Once a Day, and Woods. At number 2 is Lil Uzi Vert with Eternal Atake. This album seemed like it was announced years ago, but finally saw its release this year, and to me it didn't disappoint. I really love it. he breaks it into three different parts, and they all have a similar sound, but are sonically still different. And I think Uzi did a lot of experimenting with the project, and I think this is one that fans will they will grow on fans as time continues to pass. Uzi sticks to what he does best, but also he brings a new flavor to his style as well. And so I think that this was just a project that was one of my most listened to. It was my most listened to project this year, and so it has that atmospheric, out of this world element to it, and that's what I love Uzi for. So top three tracks are Prices, Baby Pluto, and Yes Sirski. My number one album of the year is The Weeknd, After Hours. And this is an album that, I wasn't really sure when it first came out, like, oh, this is instantly my album of the year. But I did love it on first listen. I think the beauty of this album is just the fact that he can take you to this other world, which is similar to this world, and if it actually has elements that are from this world. But, he transports you to his world. That's what I'm trying to say here. And I think that he's a master at doing this. He's done it in the past, but he does it perfectly on After Hours. And I think a lot of that is complemented by the visuals, which he does in like the red suit, and has a continuation with all the music videos. But even sonically, you don't have to watch all the music videos to feel the tone that he's trying to set. He has themes of lust, deception, loneliness, love, and the setting that takes you from tracks 1 to the final track it just feels like a story, but one that is not like a concept album. You can play Blinding Lights like on the radio, and it is what it is. But if you actually think about it and put it in context of the project, it's like, oh, this track is actually about someone who's drunk driving down like the freeway in Vegas, and the lights are he's driving so fast and can't see because he's so drunk that the lights are blinding him. And so it just has these almost double meanings, but at face value you can also listen to them for what they are, and it still is just as good. But once you know a little bit more and listen to the whole project in full, it just brings everything together, and there's nothing that's out of place for this album. I could talk about this one for a long time, but this one is just a masterpiece. And so it wasn't necessarily the project that I ended up listening to the most, but I think that is one that is just fantastic. And there wasn't an album that really matched this level of mastery for an album, like a cohesive piece of art. That's what this is to me. And so my top three tracks are Scared to Live, Heartless, and Save Your Tears. And there you have it. That is the top 40 albums of the year. Thank you for listening and making it this far. Let me know what your favorite albums were, or ones that I missed, ones that you think that I should give a listen to. If you think I haven't heard them, comment those below, and let me know if you want other videos too. This is just something that I'm doing for fun, but if you guys want other stuff, let me know. Thank you for watching. Check out collegesetlist.com again for more of the other content, and be on the lookout for other stuff coming soon. But yeah, that's it. Thank you, and bye.